Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to what will be a quick look at my SRU Armour and where it's developing and what I'm doing with it. Essentially, since releasing this photograph on Instagram and Facebook, I've been inundated with a lot of questions asking, what I've done to the armour, specifically where the neck piece has gone, why I'm no longer utilising that, and what are my reasons behind it and that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's dive straight in and see exactly what we have got. So as you can see, yes, I have indeed removed the neck guard area for several reasons, if I'm honest. The first off being annoyance level. Essentially, I found when utilizing this armor in conjunction with the SRU Type 1 and Type 2 helmets, you still got a hell of a lot of rubbing and interference. I found that I could never get the armor, the neck section, to actually tuck in enough towards my neck to actually stop this. It always protruded slightly too far, and you'd get this rubbing effect on the bottom jawline of both types of helmet. This was particularly annoying when you'd come to do some video work. If you were wearing a GoPro at the time, everything would resonate through the helmet, and essentially anytime you moved, whether you were looking laterally, whether you were trying to look, vertically up and down or anything of the such, just any movement at all, you'd hear this rubbing sensation on the this grinding noise on the bottom where the helmet was grinding up against the neck guard. So it basically made videoing impossible because you'd either have to mute the sound at certain points, which would just detract from the video, or you just had to put up with this constant kind of not good in any way, shape or form. I also found that the neck piece was the sole reason that you would have this sort of protruding chest section. So formerly the neck piece would have attached to these 2 points up here. These are almost like articulating little plates. It would attach up there, and it would also attach to this section here, which I will refer to as the scapular section. I believe that's the word for it, the scapula, where sort of all your rib cage interconnects with your collarbones and that kind of thing. I'm not a doctor, I don't pretend to be a doctor, but I believe that's what it's called. And for the purpose of this video, that's what we're going to refer to it as. This is now the scapular area. Essentially, yeah, it would attach to the scapula and it would hold everything tight and taut inwards, but it created this almost like triangular section at the front because there was just enough articulation in the whole thing that it would sort of bow, if you like. And I found the chest plate then became a little bit triangular across your pectoral area. Look at me, I am a doctor. And then it would create an issue when you're attempting to transition from shoulder to shoulder. Because it would protrude, essentially your buttstock would rub across the front of your chest. Unless you made a conscious effort to remove the buttstock from your shoulder and around your pectoral area and to your other shoulder as well, you'd get that rubbing effect again. So it was all just about noise and compensation for noise and that kind of thing, and ease of use and mobility. I wanted more head mobility without having to be conscious of the noise level potential all the time and that kind of thing. So yeah, it grants me more mobility essentially, and it grants me more flexibility in the way I utilize my weapons and my head and what have you. The other upshot is how I can now actually mount everything. So you'll see that on these articulating plates we actually have cable ties holding them on now. It basically means that I can put a small hole anywhere through the rig, cable tie it up, and I can ideally control exactly what height I want this whole sort of scapular pectoral area to be on my person. I found formerly that no matter where when I was utilizing the Velcro strips only, I essentially had to come across an issue whereby halfway through a game day the Velcro would either be slipping, the rig would manipulate slightly the weight of everything, and I'd end up with essentially a chest plate that more looked akin to a saggy pair of tits than anything else, which was not ideal. That's not what I paid the money for. I did not want to look like no, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, I did not want to sport that look. So So yeah, it allows me a better mounting profile as well. The other option, upshot is, especially if you're using the Type 2 helmet. Now, owners of the Type 1 helmet will know that the cabling for the internal fans actually gets routed out the back of the helmet. So you then end up either having a battery pack on the rear of the helmet, or you create one using the sort of helmet mounting strips and that kind of thing, and you can have a battery pack in a pocket on the back of the helmet. It's all fine, it's all dandy. With the Type 2, the cabling actually seems to prefer coming out of the front of the helmet, or the front section across the front of your rig if it's going to go anywhere. Now, in utilising this scapular area, which now articulates nicely forward and back, it essentially gives me a route that I can run and duct the cables down. And you'll see in my rig here, if I just lift this up, this is actually some built-in Stanang mag pouches, all velcroed shut. But essentially what I can now do is the central Stanang mag pouch, I can keep the battery in, and it lives in there. And then I can route the cabling up through the pectoral area, through the scapula and back to the helmet and that kind of thing. And it just helps keep everything super neat and tidy. So the pectoral area basically provides all the ducting. And essentially it means that I'm never going to snag a cable on anything, which was a huge concern, because, you know, if you're scrambling through scrub or anything like that, you don't want these cables snagging, potentially pulling free, and then your internal fans are knackered and that kind of thing. You're just going to steam up, and it would be a horrible event. So yeah, this keeps everything a little bit nicer and tidier, and I find it just works a whole lot better. Also in the picture, you'll see that I now, if we refer back to it, you'll see that I now utilise a lot of the cheap Armour components from some rival manufacturers, if you like. So at the minute, SRU are just sticking with the helmet and the sort of chest plate. I do understand they are currently in development with an exoskeleton for the rear of your rig. That's pretty cool. I've seen some renderings of that. Obviously in my communiques with SRU, because they are good enough, and I should mention them. They do sponsor me to a degree. I am a brand ambassador for them if you check out Facebook and Instagram and that kind of thing. Much love goes out to SRU. They have provided me with some kit as well, so that's all good. So I'm very much looking forward to their exoskeleton, but I'd love to see them develop more beyond that as well. Certainly things like these gauntlets you can see me sporting, these are from the cheaper components that you can buy on Amazon, eBay, that kind of thing. They've got a bit more of a Mandalorian look to them, but they are very cheap. They're not the highest quality, but they look all right. Certainly though, like I say, I'd love to see SRU produce something similar, perhaps with a bit more design element to it. Certainly they'd be more robust and able to take a bit more damage and that kind of thing. But yeah, and as it happens, if SRU aren't going to produce that, or would like to see some of my work, I do actually have some designs on paper myself, which I'd be willing to show you guys on a video one day, as long as you don't, you know, steal my ideas. But yeah, essentially I've got a few ideas for gauntlets and stuff like that that'll be a bit more multi-purpose. That if I can get a 3D printer and that kind of thing, maybe we can work on ourselves, or in conjunction with a few friends of mine and that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm digressing again. I do this all the time, but essentially, yeah, you can mix and match it with other Armour pieces, and the overall effect is very good. One thing I keep harping on about that I'm going to do, and I swear to you I will do one day, is actually rub these all down and give them a good paint, and really try and bring this Armour to life, make it my own. And to that extent, I'm actually having a bit of a call out to you guys. I'd love to see either message me on Facebook, Instagram, link to your work, anything like that. Show me what you've done to your Armour. I'd love to see the designs you guys have come up with. Maybe I'll steal a few of your ideas for myself. But yeah, sound off in the comments below. Let me know where to find your stuff. And yeah, essentially that's the video, guys. I've got nothing more to say to you. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. If it's been of any entertainment to you, then as always, a like and a subscribe is always welcome, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.